All right, thanks for staying with us. This is Firecrackers. Let's cross over live now to over the Imo State capital, where the zonal publicity secretary is standing by of the People's Democratic Party Southeast Zone, Augustine Olochukwu Okeke. Thank you so much, Honorable, for agreeing to speak with us tonight. I wonder what you make of the crisis playing out in your party at various levels, at the national, states, and even local government levels. We will get to that in a bit. But let's begin from Anambra State. I mean, it's less than 3 months away. You were quoted very recently, almost about a month ago, as saying that your party is going to win the governorship elections in Anambra State. I do believe in miracles, but I wonder how you intend, and your party, of course, to pull that surprise and miracle.
I remember putting that we are going to win Anambra State election, and the reason is purely scientific. If you look through the National Assembly, 95% of the occupants of the National Assembly, both the Senate and the Federal House, are occupied by PDP people. And these are elections that were done, and these people campaigned and won. It's only at the state level where you see the ruling party now holding sway over the PDP. So it's natural. These are the same people that are going to campaign, and of course we see every senator was also part of that election, our primary. And then we have also Senator Odwa and the rest of them. So it's not just PDP, it's the party on ground in Anambra State. What you are seeing at the state level is just a cultural implementation of some people, so to say. But at the point now, the dynamics have changed. PDP is a party that people believe, and as you notice, we had the highest number of aspirants to the position of governorship before the primaries of June 26. We had 16 aspirants. No other political party in Anambra State, even the incumbents, have had that. So it wasn't a miracle. So we're not saying it's going to be a miracle, we're saying it's realistic based on action. Thank you.
All right, Augustine, I mean, you need to just stay with us. Let's take a breather because we're struggling to hear you very clearly. Your audio signal doesn't seem too strong. Stay with us. Let's take a breather. When we come back, we'll look at other issues. I'm going to ask you if your party has even been able to produce a candidate for your party just yet ahead of the elections. I understand one of the candidates has only just pulled out from your party, defected from your party. We'll talk about this in just a moment. Stay with us. This is Firecrackers. We're back in just a moment. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. So there you go. One of the many issues in the People's Democratic Party. Yes, the Cross River North senatorial seat is also in contention. Augustine is still with us. Augustine Olochukwu Okeke, live from over the Imo State capital. He's a zonal publicity secretary of the party in the Southeast Zone. Thank you so much for standing by. Indeed, Augustine, we didn't really have a smooth sail earlier on the first part of your conversation with us, of course. But let's see now if we can continue to speak. I was going to ask you, do you have a candidate now, or does your party, the People's Democratic Party, does the party have a candidate now for the elections, which is just 3 months away?
Really, PDP had always had a candidate in Anambra State. The name of our candidate is Mr. Valentine Ozigbo, who emerged from the June 26th primaries held in Oka, Anambra State. I personally monitored that primary election. INEC monitored that primary election, and he emerged as the candidate. And the name was submitted to INEC. The National Working Committee of PDP issued Valentine Ozigbo with a certificate of return. So what you're seeing playing out is INEC, being a body in Nigeria that must obey any form of valid court rule, decided to obey a court judgment that asks it not to publish any name. That does not mean that PDP did not have a candidate. A similar thing had happened in Imo State during the Imo North senatorial by-election, where INEC also, based on a court ruling, did not publish any name for APC. At the end of the day, the election held, and APC purportedly won the election, and the winner was issued with a certificate of return by INEC based on subsequent court pronouncement. So as it is right now, we have a candidate, and his name is Valentine Ozigbo.
All right, Augustine, I'm not sure again, we're again still having issues with your audio just before we rounded off on that conversation now. But you've said so, you've mentioned your candidates now. Let me also ask, what is playing out with the factions in your party? I'm also wondering, what faction do you belong to? How many factions are there in your party as well?
Kelly, People's Democratic Party do not have any faction. We have a single People's Democratic Party led by Uche Secondus as the national chairman of PDP. There is no faction anywhere known to law or known to any of the individuals involved. Thank you.
All right, so any ideas as to why INEC could have pulled such a surprise on your party, the exclusion of your candidate when the governorship list was published?
Okay, back to Anambra, I think I alluded to that earlier on, that INEC is in the receipt of the name of Valentine Ozigbo as the People's Democratic Party candidate in Anambra State. So today, however, as I try to explain, INEC also is in receipt of a court judgment debarring it from publishing a name. So it was just in obedience to that court judgment. Not that they don't have the PDP's candidates in their list. It was just in obedience to that court judgment. And as I said earlier on, there was a precedent in a situation of Imo State, Imo North electoral by-election, where similar judgment was given to INEC, and they did not publish the name of any candidate for APC. But APC went ahead and still participated in that election. So in this case, it's just another subsequent judgment has even come. I'm sure by the time the next phase of release of names by INEC, you will see the name of PDP candidate Valentine. Thank you.
Your candidates, I mean, about who is authentic or who is not, or who is to be, who is going to lead your party ahead or not. What if the court decides otherwise?
By otherwise, what do you mean?
Maybe I should go over my question again. I'm not sure if you got that. I was asking, what if the court decides otherwise? Because I understand there are some court issues as regards who is the authentic candidate of your party ahead of the gubernatorial polls or not. So what if the court decides otherwise? What happens to your candidate and your party?
Kelly, I want to give the benefit of doubt to the judicial system in Nigeria, in as much as we have had some issues, that they are all credible and intelligent people who understand the laws of this nation more than myself and yourself. And the law is clear that it is only the national chairman of the political party that can submit a name of a candidate of a political party for consideration as a candidate for election. And that has been done. The National Party, PDP, the chairman, Uche Secondus, and the National Secretary have submitted the name of Valentine Ozigbo. Like I said, INEC is in the receipt of it. So what the court would do when they see any case, it will be judged on the strength of its merit. And the merit is that the only primaries monitored by INEC is the primaries of June 26, conducted at Oka, at the Women's Center, where INEC monitored and observed it. So any other, just like in any other system, in a family system, you will have some divergent views and misunderstanding. Those things will be resolved. So as it stands now, there was a court judgment and there's another court judgment. INEC obeyed as is. So whenever another court judgment comes up, and then INEC will also obey, but that does not mean that that will become the subsisting situation to the election. The authentic candidate at the end of the day will succeed. And that is Valentine Ozigbo. So I don't expect the court to go outside the law to make any judgment. They have to be guided by the law of the land, not just by any whims and caprices of any individual.
All right, okay. I mean, there are other issues as regards your party, but we'll come back and talk about the party at that level. But let's talk about the PDP at the national level now. It does appear that you are on the divide of Uche Secondus Is that where you stand or belong, that he remains your national chairman, or you think he should resign or step aside as many have called for?
First of all, let me clarify that there is no divide in terms of the leadership or the structure of PDP. It permits me a credible indulgence to educate us on how the party structure runs. There's a national working committee. You may liken it, if you look at the executive, you may liken it to the executive body on who runs the day-to-day. And there's a national executive committee, which is an expanded, if you want to liken it, an expanded ESCO, where you also have people like liken it to special assistants or senior special assistants who can attend the executive expanded ESCO. So the deputies in the elected deputies are part of the National Executive Committee, but they are not part of the National Working Committee. What has happened in PDP is that some deputies, I know that's where you're alluding to, resign on account of the fact that they have some grouses. Clearly, in any situation in life, what you people regard as crisis, overblown, is conflict. It's just misunderstanding between two individuals. If you have a divergent view, so to say, and they resign, and one of them has also resigned the resignation. And then some members of the National Working Committee, 6 members, said, we don't like this sort of leadership. This is conflict. And what did PDP do as a body, in answer to your question about divide? There is no divide. The Board of Trustees were in, the Governors Forum were in, as you hear the chairman of the, chairman of the Governors Forum, His Excellency Tambuan, state that issues are resolved. And what is the resolution? That shared your son. Whatever the issue is, a family, we all come to National Convention, which seems to be the highest congregating body of the People's Democratic Party, in October, as he has mentioned, not later than October the ending, and we come together as brothers and sisters and talk about our issues, the way we've been talking about issues in the last, how many years since 1999 till date. PDP is the only party that has succeeded from 1999 till date. That shows you that you have a very strong internal conflict resolution mechanism, so to say. So there's no divide. All you have is divergence of opinion between brothers and sisters, and it happens in everywhere. Even in your company or your firm, as you are now, if you feel you are due for promotion and you ask for it, it's divergence of opinion. It doesn't mean that there is crisis or danger or divide, as the case may be. Thank you.
All right, because indeed, the network is not very friendly and the audio signals are not so strong. So you are standing on the side also that believes that the PDP is still the largest and biggest party in Africa. Is that what you think?
Definitely so, Kenny. If you look at what is happening at the current re-registration of PDP across the board, you would see that PDP is loved everywhere. It's the largest political party. It's the most credible political party you have in Nigeria as we speak today, despite all the media propaganda. It is the party that has the strongest institutionalized mechanism for everything you can think of. Take, for instance, what has happened in the party called NPC, vis-a-vis the World Congresses that they have done.
Why? Yes, just a moment. I hate to break your flow of thought. Why then has your party, as one of the biggest parties in Africa and the main opposition party, why then has your party failed many Nigerians in terms of playing the part of the opposition party? Because many Nigerians think that your party has not really been present. I mean, the APC gave your party a run for, when people were in power for 16 years. So how come, in terms of opposition and what you should be doing as the party, many Nigerians believe that your party is not living up to expectations?
Kenny, once again, if you allow me, let me take us down to some principles of management. Those who are conversant with marketing or management know that in competitive strategy, there is what you call differentiation. What has happened in the last 5 to 6 years of unfortunate APC is propaganda and bamboozling of the nation, and we have seen it. Shift of goalposts from promising 3 million jobs per year and succeeding in removing 4 million jobs per annum, from promising to give 1 naira to 1 naira to making it 1 naira to $1 to 400 or something, from inheriting 10 points 3 billion external debt to giving us 32.9 billion external debt. That amounts to over 220% increase in the next borrowing from not even threatening, from borrowing indirectly through bond issue and of our pension fund and the rest of them. These are things that APC did through sheer massive propaganda. PDP has always institutionalized trust.
Well, Augustine again, the network doesn't seem too friendly tonight because, but stay with us. We'll see if we can fix this very shortly. This is Firecrackers. Let's take a break. I'll be back in just a moment. All right, thanks for staying with us. This is Firecrackers. Augustine Elochukwu Keke is standing by with us, the Zonal Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party Southeast Zone. Augustine, the network has not been very friendly with us on the program tonight. But just before that's the freeze, you were trying to make a point. I'll allow you conclude on that thought before I ask my next question, please.
Okay, your question was PDP's opposition style as against APC's rabble-rousing opposition style. And I was trying to tell you that in business management, that's what we call differentiation in competitive strategy. So we've seen what APC has said to the country, shifting the goalposts from the avalanche of promises they made to this country and restricting it to only three: corruption, economy, and what's the third one? I can't remember. The security. In all three indices, they failed woefully. So, is it what Nigerians want PDP to do? To begin to rabble-rouse like them? No. What PDP has done is to strengthen the institutions, and as I was saying, elevating the discussion from a pedestrian level to a thought-provoking level, whereby they can attract people of well-meaning credibility and character to come and be part of. Now, let me give you an example of that. Look at the three institutions of the world today: the World Trade Organization, African Development Bank, and the Afrexim Bank. These were people that were able to identify with PDP style of leadership and style of organization. I'm talking about World Trade Organization of Okonjo Iweala. I'm talking about African Development Bank, Femi Adesina, and Afrexim Bank, Professor Ambrose Orama. So to say, these people were people we were able to attract. Sometime in 2013, PDP, as lackluster as people want to see them in terms of their style, was able to rebase this economy, and our GDP of $510 billion was the biggest in Africa and the 26th largest in the world. PDP, as I said earlier on, left 10.3 billion external debt, whereas the same APC of today has plunged out into $32.9 billion external debt. Is it what Nigerians want? APC today cannot respect the Nigerian Constitution in section 180, where a governor of the state cannot hold any other executive position. But today, we are hearing that it's a caretaker committee and all that.
Need to round off on our conversation tonight. I know you can go on and on about your party and all of that. I'm not sure the APC would agree with some of the things you're saying. Unfortunately, we didn't get someone to respond to some of the issues you're raising here. But maybe quickly, you can just probably respond to the sit-at-home order by IPOB. Of course, you're in the Southeast region. I wonder how your party is responding to what has been playing out in that particular zone. It has been on fire for quite some time now. How are you responding to the sit-at-home order by the indigenous people of Biafra?
Well, when issues cut across the entire populace, it is no longer partisan. PDP, as a political party, we are also members of the Southeast Governors Forum. And these are issues that are being dealt with at the level of non-partisan situation. So I, as a representative of a political party, as a spokesperson of People's Democratic Party in Southeast region, would not be in a position to address the issue. Thank you.
All right, so we have to round off now. Maybe just one final question before I let you go. There are a lot of people who even think that your party is falling apart, but maybe in 60 seconds or less, what should Nigerians expect from your party? In 60 seconds or less, please.
There are 600, over 300, for instance, in Imo State, there are over 300 and something wards in Imo State. Is the party falling apart in Imo State? No. The leadership of Imo State PDP, under Charles Fugu and His Excellency Right Honorable is the party to beat. In Anambra State, I have mentioned about Senator Odwa and the other Senator Ekwunife. And the His Excellency Peter Obi, are they falling apart? No. Is it in which state of the federation are you talking about, or at the national level? I had mentioned before what you have between the deputies and the issues of divergence of opinion, which has been properly resolved, and the largest congregating body of PDP, being the national convention, we held in October. The body that should be we're talking about falling apart is the APC that could not do a simple world congress that does not even qualify to be called a political party today, because the leadership of the party is occupying a position in knowledge. There is nothing like APC today because the national chairman is occupying it in contravention of the existing law of the country, even their own party, so to say. So PDP, as I said before, is the strongest party, ready to ensure that Nigerians get back to good leadership by 2023. We need to stop the bleeding. The country is bleeding and the ship of state has capsized. We need to begin to bring it back to the glory days. Thank you so much.
All right, that's a good place to anchor our conversation tonight with you. Zonal Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party South East Zone, Augustine Elo Chukwu Okeke, live from Owerri, the Imo State capital. I'd like to thank you most kindly for speaking with us tonight.
Thank you, Kelly, for having me. Thank you so much.